Happy Thursday. How's it going, guys? All right. Let's do something. Let's do a whole bunch of stuff. So, I had a whole thing planned for today. I'm going to invite some people onto the show, but right now, I'm still getting set up. So, but today we're going to talk about being available versus being valuable. And I know that most of you guys understand that, but we're going to be doing something that I got to turn that down because that's going to drive me nuts. All right, Jassim, I know that you are watching this, probably lurking. Apologies for not getting back to you. I had a lot of work to do, and we're gonna have some fun because I am gonna open up the stream to have a bigger conversation than normal. Because I liked how it went last week. Like last week was actually fairly good with Roger and Avars and Mac when you guys came on and you guys joined the conversation. I actually thought that was fantastic because there's some real golden nuggets that came out of that conversation. Um, all right. So as we're going to be doing this, so today we will be talking about uh, my eCam is not cooperating with me today. Give me a second. All right, let's get this out of here. Boom, done. So today we will be talking about being valuable and oops. we are going to be talking about being valuable and available. And there is a time to do both, but today we're going to talk about the importance of knowing the difference and understanding one over the other. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of us as creatives, we want to be seen as valuable. So we make ourselves available to a lot of clients and to a lot of people, and it actually backfires and it sends the wrong message when we make ourselves available. And I'm going to get into what exactly that is. Let's just say some hellos as we're doing this. And Justine, I'm gonna send you that link in 1 second. But how about this? I'm gonna where is it? Interview. There we go. So, oops. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna open up the call right now. Jassim, this one is for you. Answer it. And anyone else that wants to go into the green room, by all means, go into the green room and let's have a discussion because we're going to be talking about valuable versus available. And I know I've had this discussion with so many people. That's why I know that you guys know what I'm talking about. Like it is so prevalent and like it boggles my mind too that a lot of people allow themselves um, to get into that position where they where they're I guess is in the green room. All right, Justine is coming in. So a lot of people get themselves into that position where they want to make themselves seem very valuable to clients and to people that they work with, and it extends well beyond work and into family stuff. Um, oh, nope, he doesn't want to. He's not there yet. All right. So it extends a lot into work, and I've seen it so often. Hey, there you are. And it extends so often into the whole work life. I'm gonna bring I'm going to bring our guest on. Just see him introduce yourself.
What's going on, Rafael? My name is Josh Shim. I am a wedding photographer in New York City. And I started YouTube about a year and a couple of months ago because I wanted to learn film and I wanted to meet people like Rafael.
Apologies
What's
for
up?
saying your name incorrectly. I'm under the gun, so I'm just talking how as it goes. But yeah, so from your perspective, what is being valuable as someone that is creative uh, versus being available? Do you like? Does that resonate with you? Like, do you understand where I'm going with this as a
I
whole?
think I think I feel like we've had a few conversations on this, and the the main thing I feel like creatives pretty much hitting the nail on the head with exactly what you said. I feel like creatives think if a client, if a client has a job, sorry about that. If a client has a job, then I need to jump on it ASAP to collect that money. And I think the only real thing that increases value, aside from being unique and offering a service that a lot of people don't offer, is being somebody who's harder to get. So just being somebody whose skill set is so great that you have a lot of demand. So by nature, more demand means you're less available, and being less
Mm-hmm.
available means you get to hike up the prices.
And that's exactly it. I want to share the screen. Oh, yeah. So being being valuable is something that is worth a great deal of money and a thing that is of great worth. But when something that is available, and this is something that, and I used to do this a lot, something that is available to be used or obtained at someone's disposal or of a person not otherwise occupied free to do something. Now, how many of you guys have actually had oops, where am I going? Wide shot. Gotta learn. I gotta not Avars, get out of here. So what am I oh, I gotta stop screen sharing. So this is
I can't tell if I'm online.
no, we're good. Okay. So how many of you have had that frantic email 5 o'clock on a Friday or before a long weekend saying, "Oh, we need to change right now," and it's not like, "Oh, there's a typo." It's like, no, it's like list of notes, just crazy, and it's like it has to happen. We need it Monday morning, and this has happened quite a bit. Now, if the delivery of this project was Monday morning, and it was the final delivery and it was going out on Monday. Okay, well, then something needs to happen and you need to take care of it. But so many times clients have done this where it's like Friday they send this, sheets of notes and they just expect you to jump on it because they need it Monday morning for a meeting. And if you're available, then you're working that weekend. You're just
They need it
taking care of it.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're valuable, the email you send back saying, "I got your notes. This is fantastic. I will start on this on Monday." And the difference between jumping on it right away and telling the client that you're going to do it starting Monday, that's because you value your own time. And it just seemed jumped off. But so you value your own time. And I know that you value your time. I know that you value your time because that's why you get frustrated. That's why you get upset when the client makes those kind of demands. But it is up to you to set those boundaries when it comes to those kind of requests because they're because it's a way of teaching people how to treat you. And because I know that you value your time, I know that you value your work, you have to show other people that you value it because then they will value it. And if a client says, "No, it has to happen right now," you can't stop the thing that you are already planning to do, that like your life. Like if you were working on another project, if you're doing something like there was an instance where I got that kind of email right before I was going on Christmas vacation, and they're like, "We need all these changes done by January 1st," and I'm just thinking like, who is this person? Like, who actually thinks that I'm just going to stop uh, doing the thing that I was about to do? And I just said, I'll start this on January 8th. That's literally because that was the week after the holidays, and I just let them know that's when it's going to happen. And a magical thing happened. They kind of said like, okay, no problem. So all of a sudden that urgency disappeared because I value my time, and I value my time with my friends, with my family, and I value the time of my clients. So when I am committed to an actual project, I'm there. I'm working on that project. So I'm committed to that schedule. I'm committed to that price. And that's kind of leading off of the whole thing that we are talking about uh, the last couple of weeks, where if you communicate properly, these kind of things don't happen, right? The client won't start asking for um, amazingly, amazing different new things that they need in that are above and beyond the scope. So if anyone else wants to jump in for this conversation, by all means, please jump in, because I want to open up the floor for everyone to have a conversation. So we're not doing the Skype thing. We're going to be doing it through. Why? So you're in the green room. Okay, there you go. Oh, so I have to add you. Look at that. I'm learning something new every time.
Oh, hey.
There you go. I was wondering why you weren't coming back up. But it's one of those things where I don't know if you were listening to that, but
I heard.
It's such an important thing to communicate, and to communicate those kind of things with your client and set those boundaries and understand. Because if you are always available, if you're always willing to answer the phone call, willing to drop whatever you're doing, because from the client's perspective, you don't have anything else to work on. You don't have another client. You don't have anything else. There's no other project you're working on. You don't have family. You don't have any of those things from their point of view. But just like them, where it's like, I need you to respond to this email immediately because it's time critical, and it's only going to get in the show if you email right now. It's like, well, they're like, I'm busy. I'm having my coffee break. And it's like, you have to be able to talk confidently with everybody that you meet. And when someone requests time from you in either, it's like, let's take YouTube, because we have the YouTube gang here. Every company wants your time to make a review for them for free. And if someone valued your time, they would instantly offer up money. They're seeing if you're available or if you're valuable. They're not doing it directly. They don't know they're doing it. It's subconscious, right? They're like, let's put this out there. Let's pray and pray, as they say. Like, let's contact every single creator that has sub 2,000 subscribers and just hope for the best. And they'll make hundreds of videos. And I'm actually really glad that a lot of people are getting a lot wiser to the whole scenario, that they're like, I'll do this, but what do I get in exchange? Like, when I started doing free reviews, I started asking for, well, send me 3 of them so I can give away 2 of them. Or if you want me to review that software, send me some licenses that I can then give away to the people that are going to be watching it. So it's going to be valuable not only for me, but also for you, that you guys can get something out of it. Like, I wish I can give away all this kind of stuff. And, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, Mr. B style, where we get to give away the software. And it's like, car for you, software for you.
Start giving away houses.
That's right. $4 million a month for his budget for his videos. That's great. Good for him.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that if you value your time and the things that you're doing, it not only does it reinforce that idea in your mind to make sure that mindset sticks, but it also tells the client that, hey, this is how serious I take my time. I expect you to take my time just as seriously. So
Exactly.
I do think once people get out of that mindset of, you know, obviously everyone's financial situations are different. If you need to take a job, by all means take it. But if you're trying to increase value, then understanding which jobs aren't worth your time or which requests aren't um, worth your time, especially in your case when you were about to go to a family vacation and somebody uh, created a deadline pretty much that required you
Well,
to put
again,
your vacation on
I
hold.
didn't get upset. I didn't get upset at
Right,
that
right.
scenario because I knew that from their perspective, they finally got around to it and it became really important. And so from their perspective, it's super important. It needed to get done. They needed to send that email before their Christmas holiday, and they
Yeah,
needed it to be done so when they came back, they looked like the hero, which is fine,
yeah,
fantastic. So I didn't get upset. I just said that,
yeah,
uh, I received the notes. I understand it. Like I'm valuing their time because I find them valuable. That I'll respond, but these are the boundaries. Like it's like
yeah,
I understand that you need it by January 1st, but unfortunately, we won't be able to get to it until we won't be able to start it until the 8th. So delivery of this will probably happen, sometime after that. So like you always kind of client
yeah,
expectations. You want to manage them because if if you just go about and do it, then that client will you'll plant that seed in their head that they can do that, that it's okay. Where next time that client all of a sudden they're sending me a week early those notes that they're supposed to send to make sure that I have the time to do that. Now I've had scenarios in the past where I have needed to or a client has asked for me to do it pro bono or to do it for free or something, right? And I don't immediately say no when someone says I need it done for free. I evaluate the client, what the project is, and if they are able to do a barter of some kind. Like, what can they offer me that I find equally as valuable as what I'm or they're asking me to do? So, like, if they're asking me to do a video, like, and it's like $20,000 worth of work that they want, well, what service or like maybe they have a product, like, what can they send me in return that I can then use maybe as giveaways to other people or something that a family friend can use. Um, but it has to be of equal or more value because you have to actually work harder when it's a barter deal. Um, like because people will always look for that free version. But if you plant that idea that this is going to cost X amount of dollars, what can we exchange for that value? Then I'll do the work, and you guys, like, from their company perspective, they still have to do that. Um, and it's also in reverse, understanding the value of the client's time. Like there's a lot of scenarios where I would love to bring the client into a studio and record the interviews and whatnot right in a studio because I control everything. It's going to sound perfect. There's no distractions. But from the client's perspective, if there's like 5 or 10 people from their company that you want to interview, they're going to want to. They don't want those people to be gone for the entire day. So if I can set up in their office and work right there and then the people just come in do their bit and they leave, they're back to work. From the client's perspective, they're saving lots of money. So when it comes down to, like, these are the things to kind of look out for. What would be the things that you would say to look out for?
So one main thing first of all, I agree with everything you said as well, most things as far as creating and managing expectations. That was one thing you said that I think is the surefire way to increase value.
Mm-hmm.
And so the availability thing, yes, figure that out however it works with your financial requirements. Um, but if you can manage expectations properly, and I'll give you an example, I get couples every weekend within like 48 hours. Hey, Josh, thank you so much, for shooting our wedding. It was great. when can we expect our images? I don't think they will have remembered the contract that stipulated, this is the window that you can expect the images. So now I've gotten ahead of that, and literally the day after the wedding, the first thing I do is I have an automatic email that goes out that says, "Congratulations. It was such a pleasure working with you guys this weekend. Just a quick update on what to expect. I'll have some sneak peeks within 5 days. The full set will be ready within 8 to 12 weeks." And now that I've set that expectation, what I do now is go above and beyond the expectation that I've set, which is sneak peeks are going to be ready within 7 days. I get it to them within 3 or 4. And same thing, full set is ready within 8 to 12 weeks. I get it to them within about 6 to 8. So
it's the communicating with clients, and it's true with family, with neighbors, with like friends, and like because there's plenty of friends that in the past have been like, "Yo, we're doing this right now, and you got to come." And it's just like, no, I'm not 16 anymore. I can't just drop the thing and just do that anymore, right?
Right.
Because it's like, but from their perspective, like, oh, what a party pooper, like doesn't want to do anything. It's like, no, I value my time, and I can't just do that kind of stuff. So, like, once you set up those boundaries, and these are healthy relationships and healthy boundaries, and people will always push to try to get their best angle from it. Like
Correct.
even today, it's like, I definitely wanted to have Jashim on and participate in this thing, and it's like I asked him. I've been asking for weeks, and even at the last minute, I was like, "All right, are you available?" And he joked. I told him what the theme of the show was, and he's like, "No, actually, I can't make it this week." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay." But he's just joshing me, that guy.
The actual response was, I might not be available for this live stream. Just trying to increase my value.
Yeah. And I take that as at face value. I was completely duped in it, but that's the perfect perfect response for those kind of scenarios where when people ask you to make a YouTube video on a product, when they'll like, we'll send you this thing for free. It's like, wait, this thing is like $15. So I will make $15 worth of a video for this, right? We'll be like, yeah, these guys send me this thing for free, and then you put it down. Like that's what $15 will get you. And it's just like, I kind of used it and it was okay. That's $15 worth of $100. It's like, yeah, I plugged it in and actually tried it and it was okay. Like where, at what point do you make like, well, no, we expected a full 8-minute video with these words, and it's like, okay, fine, pay me $10,000 and I'll make a full dedicated video. I'll make it on a separate channel, but that's a whole nother story. So it's understanding that, and when you do find clients that value that time because they understand the importance of time management and scheduling stuff, then you will make yourself available and you'll be okay with it because it's part of that working relationship. Like there are many instances where a client would email me the night before a video is supposed to go live, and they're like, "We made a huge mistake. We didn't say the words right or something in the voiceover, or the titles, the copy should have said this where it says this, and it's like we completely missed it." Or and it's just like at that moment, it's just like, I know the show is going live, and there is a responsibility when you do have a client like that that you're working with, and they've been great up to that point, and you drop everything and you help them cross the finish line, and you hold their hand crossing the finish line. And I even make myself available 2 to 3 days after, just in case there is anything else that needs to change. And that's where they find that value, because that's the key moment where that value, that impression, how you made them feel when they were the most stressed out. It's the clients that Friday night, we need this by Monday morning, and then you send it Monday morning and you don't hear anything for 3 weeks, and it's just like, what? Like, why bother? Like, this isn't. We're not in that delivery phase. We're not trying to hit those kind of marks, and those are the relationships that you have to be willing to really push back on and say, no, we're not going to do it this way. Um, like there's this whole thing, like if a client starts um, berating you or being really upset for no apparent reason, like because there's a stupid mistake, it's like that's fine. There's a mistake. Be like, oh, there's a mistake.
Yeah.
Can you change it? Yeah, no problem. But when clients get rude, the my default thing is like never feel like you can talk to me that way. And the client immediately stops and it's like, oh, sorry, I was, just upset and something. Like, I understand that, no problem, but like you stop that right in the middle of the tracks. Like, never let people talk to you in that way.
You got to set the
There's
expectation.
Yeah, and you have to talk confidently. Like that's why like I'm doing this series of these kind of talks where we're building on how to talk to clients, how to find clients, how to like because again, from their perspective, you're only working on their project. That's the only thing that you're existing to do for them. For
Yeah.
clients that
Because
are looking for
because
you.
in most cases, that is the project they're working on. So it is super important to them.
Mhm.
And I think it's always important to keep that line of communication clear where you're reminding them that, hey, like you have other clients that require just as much attention and care with their projects.
Yeah.
So, obviously don't say it like that, but just valuing your time because you have a schedule and you have an itinerary or you have things that you have to get done. And moving things along and setting the expectation appropriately. And again, if possible, always raising the value by exceeding those expectations
Yeah, and
on
that's
your terms.
yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Where once you have that ability to do those kind of things, to deliver ahead of schedule, and it's like all of a sudden they get excited because it's like they weren't expecting it. Where it's like they have the expectations, like no, it has to be done right now, and then it's this way, that way. It's like, but that's not the deal that we set, and it's like they don't care about the deal, and it's just
Yeah.
weird conversations that spark up from all these different interactions. So, um, so I'm just looking at my notes because, like I was saying, that there are times that being valuable and available, that's when that project is coming to a close or is the next one on the slate to be delivered. So if there's like a typo and whatever, and you made the mistake, you fix it. Like there's don't even hesitate. You're just like no, okay, like you you make sure that it's all good. But that's where getting into the habit of double checking the work and watching it over again. Like the, there were many times where I would just send a link because it's like it has to go. It's like no, like spend the time because it's better to be a few minutes late than to have something bad in the show. And it still happens. Like there's some shows that just need to happen because the rendering took longer and thankfully the clients are usually very understanding when it's just like they just need to see it. But immediately if you notice something, like I've sent video links as I'm double checking it and then fixing it and then re-uploading it to the same link, so when the client sees it, they it wasn't there, but at least they can see it.
I think being flexible goes a long way in increasing value at the right moment with the
Hmm.
right clients during certain projects, right? If this is like some year-end campaign and it's supposed to be the biggest campaign that they're working on,
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously your flexibility is gonna leave a lasting impact on the person, on the project coordinator, and so next time they have another major project, you're going to be somebody they think about. Um, but I do think valuing your time is the key point here because a lot of creatives specifically we're too emotionally attached to our projects, our work, our craft.
Well, this is
That
this is exactly what I was saying. How so many people don't, so many creatives, they learn how to create, but then the client management, the business side of it, lacking so hard. And I know that I was lacking so hard on this kind of stuff as well.
yeah,
We always want to be like, yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can figure that out. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I'm available. Yes, I can do that for you. instead of really focusing on what you're actually good at, not the thing that you need to figure out, but like what are you actually good at. This is what I talked about last week, like finding that niche of the thing that you're really really good at, that other people look at and be like, oh shit, like how'd you become so good? Because our brains shut those parts off and we look for a new challenge to try to get better at something else. So when you do understand you're good at something, just like the Joker said in the Dark Knight Returns. No, the Dark Knight. Yeah, he said if you're good at something, never do it for free. And I agree with that. That crazy bastard.
Yeah, and on the investing side, if you're good at something, double down
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
maximize your potential with that skill set.
I think I got sick and tired of having the starving artist
Oh,
cliche. Like there's this whole thing like when rich people get together, they talk about art. When artists get together, they talk about money. And that mindset is like is so weird where understanding money gives you the freedom to be able to create unless you want to just keep creating for other people, which is it's a bad habit to get into. Not making money like there's so many instances where it's just like, wait, how much are you charging for your service? It's like, uh wow, I would charge like 100 times more than that. And they're like, some artists look at me, they're like, how can you charge that much? I'm like,
yeah,
because how else are you going to make money? Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like there's so much money available in the world. Like if someone offers you $100 to do a photo shoot, it's like, well, we need you to do the bride and groom's homes, and then the ceremony, and then the wedding. Oh, and can you come the day before to shoot the rehearsal dinner? And it's like, well, we got $100. Be like, fantastic. Hand a camera. You go take that $100, buy a disposable camera, hand it to the youngest kid in their
no, by
family, and be like,
12, by 10 to 12, so that you get multiple angles of covered.
and it's just like it doesn't make sense. Like well, like you just asked for a $40,000 package, right?
Yeah,
Um, and knowing how to price. The whole thing is what's the worst that can happen if you say, wait, okay, you know that, okay, for I'm gonna use video, like that this video, it's just straight on shooting an interview, but my time, I have to bring all of my equipment, I have to do all the editing, I have to, so it's like $25,000 to do this, and then you tell the client like this is gonna be $35,000, and like to cover the cost is gonna be about 25,000. With all the graphics and editing and anything else that they need done, and you tell them $35,000. So that means $10,000 is just pure profit for you. Why do artists get upset? Like they're like, oh, I shouldn't charge more. It's like, then why are you doing this? Is it just for the fun of it? Like then like you have like a whole nother job. So you have to charge at that scale where it's like it not only covers your time, but time and profit. Like you have to be able to walk away from it and be like, it didn't just cover your time, right? Like I have a whole
yeah,
video that talks about how to set your day rate, and I stress this a lot to a lot of people. Your day rate is the the bare minimum you should be charging. It's not the ceiling. It's not like, oh, I should only be charging this because that's what the calculate, like that's what you need to be charging just to get through the year if you're lucky enough to work 180 days. So if you're only going to work 100 days, well, your day rate needs to be way more, or you need to supplement it with something else. And doing a side hustle is completely fine when you build up that creative part. Like having a full-time job while you're doing all this other stuff, but you have to make sure that when you're doing that, it's leading towards making more of it. Like or being able to not only supplement what you're making, but also if you want it to be the thing that you want to do, you have to get to a point where it's going to make more than your current job. And the creative life, it ebbs and flows, especially if you're working for yourself. And some years are like I can't keep up with it, and other years are like, man, nobody's buying anything this year, right? Like
Yeah.
especially 2020, like it hit hard for so many
Yep.
people that were camera guys and working on set, and they had to shift and be like, we'll do live streams and we'll set up this way, and it's like they had to figure it out to make up those extra days that they weren't able to get. And because I had this long list of clients that are very valuable, that I was able to have those conversations to be like, I know that this year is completely different. And usually we do this kind of project. What are your thoughts for this year? Like, are you guys planning anything? Are you guys looking to do anything different? Do you want to do anything this year? Or are you just going to bypass it? And many of the clients were like, yeah, we're just going to bypass it. And I'm like, well, have you thought about doing a virtual event? Have you thought about doing something similar? So I not only asked them if they're doing something and they said no, I came to them with like, well, you don't have you have these options.
A
And
creative solution.
yeah, and
That's
that's the value. Like a lot of it was scaled down, but then when we came into this end of the winter and into spring, a lot of those clients reached out. They're like, let's do something bigger, but still virtual. So it's understanding that, right? Like that's a case where I became available to them to help them figure out a problem in those conversations, and that added that value onto my relationship with them.
yeah. And with anything with the value, I do think um, you're able to speak of your value when you build that confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and that confidence comes through constant practice, right? I think once you feel confident in your ability to in your skill set to produce something of value,
Mm-hmm.
I think your confidence level follows that. Unfortunately for creatives, that's just how it is. It's like, oh, I can't sell this, but the minute you charge and then you see somebody buys it, you're like, oh, okay, so I can sell this. Then you do it again, except raise your prices, and somebody else buys it, and you're like, oh, I can sell it for more money.
Well,
And
when you're busy, that is the best time to raise your prices to see what people are willing to pay.
correct.
Um, and I've had the conversations like, how do you become comfortable talking about money? Well, you talk about money.
Talk
That's
about
it.
money. Just
Yeah, like the only way you're going to get comfortable saying this is going to cost $50,000 is to say this is going to cost $50,000 instead of going this is going to cost it's
uh,
more than you think.
maybe
Like you may
40-ish.
not be comfortable with this price. It's like don't do that. Just be like this is the price and then shut up.
Yeah,
And then literally
yeah,
shut up, don't say anything. Because the client's going to go, "Oh, shit. That's expensive." And
yeah.
you just
You,
wait. You just wait because then they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't know if we can do that." Well, it's like, "Well, what can we scale down and what's a budget that is comfortable for you?" And though like and just getting into that kind of comfortable place where people always ask me what's my hourly rate, what's my day rate, what's my and it's like I can give you a day rate, I can give you an hourly rate. Like if you want to hire me for 1 hour, it's like it's 1 hour, but like I'll do a phone call with you, like because if I have to drive anywhere, if I have to do anything, well then I'm charging you 3 hours just
right,
for that,
right.
right? And then my hourly rate is like ridiculous because like I can't do 2 hours worth of work and then do something else for another client. Like it's hard to manage that. It's like, well, what's your half day rate? It's just like it. It's like my half day rate is like 5% lower than my full day rate. So it's just like it doesn't make sense to go that kind of route. Like unless it's a long term ongoing project where a client sends you something, you make a tweak, and just it's like this it's almost like a retainer at that point. Then sure, you can do something that is a bit more spread out. It's like like just guarantee X amount of hours per month, and I'll be able to get on that project for you to get that done. So there's a lot of loopholes in everything that we're saying. There's a lot of um, you know back end deals and
Variables.
yeah,
Yeah.
like so you have to get comfortable in understanding like what is your worth, what is your value, what is the thing that you're actually trying to achieve, and because the client is thinking 99% about what is best for them, and they're trying to do it for as cheap as possible. Like I've had so many clients come back to me like after I sent them the quote, they're like, "Well, I can go online and get this done for cheaper on Fiverr." I'm like, "Well, I'm fine with that. That's fine, no
Yeah,
problem."
you have to be okay. You have to be okay. I guess another thing to point out is the person who doesn't need the job has the most leverage. So
Well, again, if someone is if it's a job that is going to cost you money and time, I would actually recommend go out and film your own thing for free.
yeah,
It's you're going to get way more value out of that, and you'll put more effort into that than a client that is, completely undercharging you because like you have to spend 2 weeks to make $1,000. No, no, like no, that doesn't make any, like you
pay
can make a
yeah
thousand
pay
bucks.
yourself.
Yeah, you can make $1,000 doing stuff online a lot easier than trying to get a exposure. Oh, I love those. It's like we don't have money, but we can give you exposure. It's like, how does this exposure money work? How does that work? Like, there's no
It
value in
really
that, especially from so many clients that they can't even give you exposure. There was an example. I'm going to use photography as an example. If the NFL said, "We want um, we want a photographer to come and shoot the Super Bowl on the field," you would have
yeah
everybody and their grandma lining up to do that for free.
yeah
Like that's
yep
exposure. That's like,
yeah.
you know, yes. But it's like if someone
Or for
asks you,
some people, an experience.
yeah, and if someone asks you, it's like, need you to photograph the local high school football team's game. No one's gonna do that. Like that doesn't
Uh,
make any sense. It's just like, but like so many parents are gonna see you. It's like nobody's gonna care. No one's there.
yeah
They're like know what exposure actually means.
yeah
Like if a band comes to you and they want you to do the photography at their one of their shows, it's like, well, can you get tickets from them? Can you get merch from them? Do they have an actual following on social media that they will be like, I love this guy's photography, go check him out, he's amazing.
Do you want more work like this?
Yeah, exactly. That's do you want, is that the right kind of exposure?
Right, right.
A job is a job is a job, sure, but
Yeah,
you know like when like creative work is not, it's not easy work, right? Like you have to be
yeah.
creative, you have to put some time and effort into it to develop that craft. So it's, and like I said before, I know that you value you. Everyone that's watching right now, everyone that I've ever spoken to values themselves and their time and their work. Everybody, every client I've ever spoken to, they value their time and their work and their effort and the time that they put into all this stuff. So you just have to have that equal conversation on the same platform that you value your time too, and that's okay. And the
Yeah,
client is going to value that more than,
100%.
like, they're going to see value. Like, this guy's great, he's always available. They'll love that. They will love that, and they will always call you because you're available, because you are just waiting for them to call you.
And bug you with all kinds of requests and demands.
Absolutely. And I've been in scenarios because I've pushed back and I've said, this is fantastic. I got your notes, and I would love to work on this, but I'm actually busy for the next 3 weeks. So I won't be able to work on this, but I'll see if I can find anyone to help you out. I've had clients return immediately to that email saying, we will wait for me to work on it because they want to work with me. They value that I'm going to work with them, not that I was available for that project. And because I've
Mhm.
set that precedent over multiple emails and interaction with clients, I get clients now trying to book me months in ahead. Be like, we have a shoot that's coming up in November, at the end of November. Are you available for it? And then I can book my time. Then I can be like, let's pencil that in. We can definitely make that work. And, it's the clients that be like, we have a shoot tomorrow. We need you to pack all, we need you there to shoot it. Like our camera guy bailed on us. I'm like, that sucks that your camera guy bailed on you. It's like, unfortunately, I am already booked. And the client's
Yeah.
like, whoa, what are they going to do? They're going to get upset. But if it's a client that I've worked with in the past and I get an email like that, that they're literally in a pinch and the day is available and I'm actually available, not I'm not moving stuff around, and I come and kind of hold their hand and help them get across the finish line. Those are those valuable moments that just make you seem like a superstar, especially if it's a client that is valuable to you. So it's understanding that. Like, I don't know how it is in your world, because I don't suspect you get a lot of repeat clients for weddings. Um,
Well,
uh,
I've found a way to sort of create a system that has them coming back for, newborns and maternity sessions and family sessions. I don't do newborns anymore, but so I do find a way to have repeat clients come back. But I will say, just sort of harping on the point where you said, use the time when you're least available to sort of price check yourself.
mhm.
And I think there was one time where my wife and I think she had something planned for my birthday. My birthday falls around like Thanksgiving, and it also just so happens to be a very busy, wedding weekend. And for the most part, I've always worked on my birthday weekend because whatever, I don't really care. I just make a little
Yeah.
extra money. I was always available, and and then one year my wife is just like, hey, like I want to do something on your birthday for your birthday with you. Okay, cool. So blocked off. Client wants a wedding that weekend. I'm like, hey, it's actually my birthday weekend. I'm unfortunately unavailable. And their response was, we will pay you more. We want you for our wedding. To which I went to the wife and I said, hey, here's a little
And
proposition.
you made yourself available.
Here's exactly.
But that's the whole thing. Like, if you didn't talk about, if you didn't tell them that you're not available, you wouldn't have had the opportunity. Like the fact, like
Correct.
I would actually get upset at you if you told me that. It's just like the fact that they had to bring up money.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's
This was
a no.
so
Like, no,
no
that doesn't make any sense. It's like,
right.
you could have responded with like the way I would have approached it is like,
The responses are much better now. This was like
yeah,
earlier
no,
on.
I
But
absolutely, like, so I said, if you said that anytime recently, but like that, like my response, like, okay, I'm talking from now experience, but my response now would be like this, whatever the project was, like if someone wanted me to come and like shoot a video or something like that, I would say that it's my, like, I wouldn't tell them it's my double rate. I said, yeah, I'm definitely, I can definitely do that. The price would be this, which would be double my rate, and I would let them say no to it, and that's where it would stand. Because if I was already busy and I had plans for it, I wouldn't change anything. But at the same
right.
time, that would be a great opportunity to be like, this is the price. And I've done that so many times over the years that this is the price has now jumped significantly, where I can do these kind of projects and I'm okay to let clients know, like, that's the price. And the client's like, whoa, that's way too expensive. Like, I completely understand that I'm not within your budget. Maybe we can find someone. And it's like, there's something in that line that pisses people off, that all of a sudden they find more money, because it's like, no, we
Yeah.
can afford that. And it's just like, just,
Yeah.
yeah, calm down. It's just like, if you want to work with me, that's the price. If you want to work with someone that is more available,
Within your budget. Yeah. They're probably
so
available. Yeah, sure. If they're available, go ahead.
yeah, like
You
the
have to be okay with like losing the job in order to like be able
yes.
to.
But again, if the price is so low and you don't need the money, because you like, if you're working in the hundreds of dollars per project, then you have another job, so you can say no to that project. Like, if you're 18 years old and you're still living in at your parents' house, then just go and film your own stuff, build your own reel, build your own style, build your own uniqueness. The line recently that I heard is have your own personal monopoly on a style that people want to then have, like, emulate and create.
That's good. That's good.
So if you're in that position where you're making that kind of money, then just say it's gonna eat, regardless of who is coming to you next, immediately triple or quadruple your price and see what they say. You'll be surprised. So don't negotiate for yourself. I've been saying that as well.
Yeah,
Dave, our
one of my
CEO.
mentor told me. One of my mentor once told me, if you really can't do a job or don't want to do a job, um, charge them a price that you're willing to do the job for.
Yeah, make it worth your
And
while.
then
Make it valuable
there
to
you
you.
go.
Um,
There you go.
and that's 100% true. Like there are a lot of clients that I have that are long-standing working relationships, and I like working with them. And I don't have the heart to change my price because I know that they couldn't even afford it. It's just like that's the price, and it's like they're comfortable and they come back every year and they have work that they want done. It's usually small, and it doesn't take me any more effort. Actually, I've actually made it easier uh, to do those kind of projects. So it's like I just like the working relationship with them because they're genuinely good people. And I find
Oh yeah.
value in that relationship over the few extra dollars that are available to that. But any new client that comes to the door, they ask me for something, and because the YouTube channel is getting to a point where there's getting a little bit of street clout, and so there is some recognition.
Raphael's getting some street cred now.
Well, I've done something right. I don't know what that right thing
Yeah.
is, but it's
No,
something.
you're killing it. You're killing it, man. You're killing
And
it.
and I've had people wanting to do some kind of activations on my channel, and I've started at my at the price that I want, not at the basement. I started at the price where it's like, and they've returned back to me. They're like, "But your social blue book says it should be only $300." I'm like, "Great,
Social Blue Book
fantastic."
doesn't know how many kids I have and what else I got
No,
going
it's
on
not
in my
even.
life.
Yeah, it's sure, but it's not even about that. It's just like, no, this is what I value my time being at, and it's like if they're not comfortable with that, no problem. I'm completely fine. I because I have a whole bunch of other clients and stuff like that. YouTube isn't my main source of income. Which, by the way, make sure you subscribe because next week we're going to be talking about income streams and how so many people have it wrong. They have it wrong. All those YouTube videos that you've watched by your favorite YouTubers, they're talking about YouTube, that income streams. They're not talking about income streams in the proper way, and it's limiting your wealth potential. So make sure you guys are around for that one because I'm gonna be talking. I'm gonna be talking about income streams and what that actually means. Because what you
And
guys
if you
have seen,
haven't already, hit the like button.
yeah, on Jashim's YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to him.
No, no, no. I was saying hit the like button on this
Oh, I know
video.
what you're saying. But I know what I was saying. Yeah, it really comes down to having a core understanding of your value. I said it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it a lot of times. I already know you value you. I know you value you. You have to teach people how to value you the same way you value yourself. You can't let someone undervalue you lower than you. They have to value you more than you. So it's just ask for the thing that you want and ask for it with that confidence. And that being like, I'm not available to start on this immediately. The price for this is this, which is the going rate. And there are many, many scenarios where you guys, where you can actually do something as a gift to someone. You can do something as the pro bono work. There are times that I have done charity work, but like it has to be like for an actual charity, like companies that have no money, that they're nonprofit, they don't make money, they just they uh, we kind of work out a deal where they just cover the costs if there are any associated with it. But my time is free working for them. But it has to be something that, like, there's a whole vetting system that I'll go through that will, a double make sure that it's an actual nonprofit, that it's something that I would actually believe in, that I would want to. If I haven't donated into it, this would be my gift and donation for that, and work out those kind of scenarios where it's worth it because it's a good cause. If a company is a for-profit company, like Mac was saying up here, if at the clubs that he play at, they don't have money, but they sell beer, so they make money. So they have a for-profit business, and they just want to maximize their profits. So it's not that they're broke; they're just a broken, and that's a line from Chris Dew in the future. He's like, those kind of clients, they're not broke; they're just broken. They have this idea that they can talk to you like that they can just demand you to do it for as low as possible. And then that's when you have to turn back and be like, never feel like you can talk to me that way. And never work with those kind of people, because they'll always look for the lowest price possible. So those are the things that know your value, because otherwise you will get those frantic phone calls on the weekend saying this needs to be done, and then the client won't return your phone call for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I do think the when you put yourself in a position that sorry, I totally just lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about the ambulance.
That's right.
I um I I think when you set the tone for a client who is broken, because this is the experience they've been having with other people, who's just sort of like, okay, sir, we will do as you say. I'm available for you right now. I will do it at that price. That's your budget. Pay me an exposure. I will do it. That's sort of the experience they've been having. So, you know, pick and choose the broken clients you think that's worth your time to educate and potentially turn into sort of a believer for you and your brand. Or if someone's really just not worth that time and effort to educate, because they're going to be more headache down the road.
And that's
sort of where you
that is the third tier. Most people, they learn how to be creative and do the skills, then they learn the business side, but then they have to learn how to teach the client not only the creative part, because they're being hired for that expertise, but also the business side of how to communicate, how to be treated in that way. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into doing this, and if you're serious and you want to do it, it doesn't take long to learn it. There's this whole bigger conversation where it's like, people won't spend the few months to learn the thing that will make them so much more happier, so much more money, and so much more like just joy in life. Like, spend those few months, 2 years up to, and you'll get to the point where not only will you feel creatively satisfied, but you'll feel, like life satisfied. Like the business, like money will be in, so you're not stressed
feel
about
fulfilled.
money. Yeah, like, and that's understanding your value. And like I said before, I know that you know your value. You just have to stand up for it. Don't let people bully you and trick you into those scenarios. So if you don't want to work on something, don't work on something. This isn't school anymore. You're not being graded. And you can choose the teachers and the classmates and the coworkers that you're working with. And sometimes it's not immediate. If you're already working for a client and they're doing those kind of things, like you're working a full-time job, you have a salary, then you have to find that transition. And that includes, like, sometimes the transition is 2 years. But if you think about it in this simple way, life is a constant transition from transition to transition. Nothing is static. So start your next transition on your terms and make it work for you. And we're actually going to end it there. Jashim, thank you so much for coming out and being part of this talk. I've been wanting you on the podcast, the live stream, whatever. for quite a while. So I'm glad that we were able to do it and have
Thank
that
you.
conversation, because it's always a great conversation with you.
Always.
And you guys are watching. Thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Luis, I see you there. Always watching. I think you're watching like 4 streams at once. I know that you are, and you're probably live streaming as well. But I'm glad to see you guys here. You guys have an amazing Thursday. I'll see you guys next week. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Jassim's channel. Can you give them the full name?
Yeah, Jashim Jalal. That's JASHIM JALAL.
Yeah, can you copy the link into the talk here, and then we're gonna sign off right after you drop it in there. But you guys have been awesome, so make sure you go check out Jassim's channel. And fuck, I'm saying your name wrong every single time, so I'll learn.
It's all right. You're good. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it. My elementary school principal called me Jasmine. You cannot butcher it worse than that.
Now I'm gonna call you Jasmine from now on.
I can't.
All right,
I
guys,
can't
go
type for some
subscribe
reason,
to Jasmine's channel. He's awesome, magical, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.